So we're back. My phone quit working, or it quit out of camera because of overheat, so I had to move. I had to just hold it. I had to move my camera, whatever. So I was talking about the Gray Man. Okay, I care about the characters so much that their suffering hurts me. Right. Uh, and it's not the problem that they suffer because good writers make their characters suffer. It is the issue that uh, the characters never get a break. That's my problem with the Gray Man manga. It's just shit after shit after shit for a long freaking time to the point it just I feel nothing but hate. So yeah, I'm definitely tethered to that manga. I mean, there's no mistaking it. So I have to put it as my second favorite manga. But it does enrage me in some things or whatever type of thing. But whatever. Anyway, I guess I'll end this by talking about Sinyo just because I did bring them up at the same time. So Sinyo, I would definitely recommend watching the anime. It's very short. All the episodes are only 4 minutes long, and there's only 2 seasons. Uh, it's a bunch of wacky nonsense. Like, you ever want to see characters just stop in the middle of a fight and play soccer? There's nobody makes sense, okay? I mean, there's a guy whose power is literally that it works as long as he and others believe it exists. Believe he could do it, whatever type of thing. The moment you start pointing out it don't make sense, and if he realizes it don't make sense, then it stops working, whatever. It's dumb, okay? But and it starts out that way. Now, the author has said that they were initially, and I don't know if they continued to do it this way, but they were literally just making it all up as they went, which it really shows in the best of ways. So the story is that the hero creation, I've never known how to pronounce it or whatever. I read it like, how do I pronounce it? Whatever. Creation. I don't know, man. I don't know how to pronounce anything. Even though it's definitely said in anime, like there are often times where, I'll hear it over and over and I still don't know how to pronounce it. And that's because, there's of course accents over that and all that junk or whatever type of thing. But basically this hero who sealed the demon lord Archimedes, he's gone, he's disappeared, whatever type of thing. And the king is sending a bunch of his descendants, or and because they don't know who his descendants are, they're just grabbing random people that they assume might be his descendants, and sending them to go after the demon lord, or whatever's granddaughter, whatever. I can't even think of the relationships in my mind right now because it's a little bit complicated. The main character is a hero named Alba, and his royal soldier, who's a sadist, and just fucks with him throughout the entire thing. Those are the 2 characters. Well, that's the premise that I'm gonna leave it off with there. But now I'm gonna get into spoiler territory. If you have any intention of watching it, I'm telling you, watch it. It's such a short watch. You can watch it in a whole day, easy, man. It's good stuff, okay? Watch it. It's on Crunchyroll. You have no excuse. You can watch it for free, even if you don't have an account. Come on, watch it. I need more people to talk to this about. Man, Oh, something I didn't mention earlier that I intended on mentioning. So the difference between Sinew and Beelzebub is Beelzebub, my friends who are anime fans refuse to watch that show because it's too weird. And I'm just like, man, you're missing out. But Sinew, I've shown many friends, and yeah, it's a contender. It's a contender, man. It really is. Ah, so spoilers. So at the end of the show, which is only 2 seasons, the 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 soldier is revealed to be the hero Krajan, and some shit happens, whatever type of thing, anime plot. you know, it's the only point in the show where they're like, okay, let's get a little bit serious here, or whatever. Archimedes, the person that he sealed, comes out, or whatever type of thing. There's a whole thing, or whatever, where there's a really great moment, of course, where the soldier Ross, that's his name, Ross has, you know, used his powers to bring back the main character who got killed. Nobody's been getting killed in this whole thing. It's all been kind of ha 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 jokey. Nobody's gonna get hurt kind of thing or whatever. But Alba gets killed, and he brings Alba back to life, and they're just like, oh shit, you've used your powers. You're the hero. I bet you, because of you've got some kind of consequences to your powers. That's why you don't use them or whatever. And the guy's like, I figured out your powers or whatever. You can't. You've got like time powers or some shit. I can't remember what it was. I need to rewatch it. I've rewatched it multiple times too, but I'm too excited talking and all that shit to think about it too hard. But they're just like, you're worried about Archimedes or whatever type thing coming back and you not being able to deal with him or whatever. He literally just summons the demon Archimedes, and he's just like, fuck you, my powers are whatever the hell I want. Anyway, he takes Archimedes and he says goodbye to the main character. He's just like, okay, I gotta go, nice seeing ya or whatever. It's a whole thing or whatever. And Alba's like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get my friend back. All that shit, whatever type of thing. It's a whole thing. I know I explained this the worst way possible, and if you've watched it, you'll know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't, then you're probably very confused. So, when you get to the manga, of course, it extends this whole thing quite a bit, and a lot of interesting things revealed. Like, one of the reasons that Ross, the soldier, doesn't use his powers is because he's so powerful, or whatever. They actually explain them, despite the magic system being fucking whack in this show, they actually do explain the origins and all that shit of magic, and it's really well done and all that junk. But he doesn't use his magic because it has an influence on the world around him. And I always like that. I always like the idea of a character being so powerful that they influence the very world around them. Psyche K did it. JoJo did it. What else is there? Bleach did it. Beelzebub did it. It's just, I think it's a thing that should continue because it's such a great concept that makes sense in my brain. It makes sense in Magic Land. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got these just ridiculously outlandish powers, why wouldn't it just impact everything? If you have this overpowered character where they're literally just radiating energy, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. So yeah, that's why he doesn't use his powers or whatever. Archimedes is actually his father, his fat her. So the story of it all, that's revealed, is that uh, Ross comes from like another world or whatever type thing with his father, and his father was like a scientist or whatever, and he he invented magic kind of thing or whatever. He invented mana. Uh, it's done in some interesting ways, but he had a younger brother, and he had a mom or whatever, and one day, you know, like his father's fucking with some science shit, and it's not working, so he just kind of throws it on the ground, which, you know, that's kind of, on the one hand, that's fucking dumb. Like, we already know that's dumb. But anyway, his little brother touches it and ends up teleporting Ross's mother and little brother to the main world that we see in Sinew, where all the main characters are from, or whatever type thing. Well, uh, Ross's father basically loses his shit, and that was the point in the story that, like, I was just like, okay, this is getting good or whatever. Like, I have that panel when it shows him, you know, like, losing his shit or whatever over his family. That is one of the few panels that I have saved on my phone. I like that image. It's such a good image. There are a few other images, like Ross using the main character as a sword. That's some great stuff. I always like that stuff. That's good stuff. Actually, I was recently watching the second season of Scissor 7, and a similar thing happened. Great stuff. I like that. I like that comedy. Okay, I'm a sucker for it. Oh, it's stupid. Anyway, so some stuff happens, and yeah, that pits the two against each other, kind of thing. There's some shit that happens in it, but yeah, that's I think that's his most spoiler territory I'm gonna get into, because it's okay compared to Beelzebub, compared to all the other things that I've been talking about. I could argue that, like, you know, the Gray Man explains everything out pretty well and all that stuff, and this explains it out pretty well. But it is probably the most complicated of the ones that I've talked about as far as trying to explain it. A lot of shit happens, okay? A lot of characters, a lot of wacky nonsense, and some good old stuff or whatever that hurts me, okay? Hurts me. Anyway, that's all that. Okay? Yeah. That's Beelzebub's my favorite, and that's all. I just wanted to talk about that to the void. There you have it. My favorite. Yeah? Okay. Goodbye. I guess. Subscribe or something. I don't know. More importantly, watch Sinew. Like, Beelzebub, I can understand you not caring for it, but Sinew, come on. That shit is... It's so easy. Just watch it, okay? Okay? Okay, bye, something.